supposed to do it. Okay. Okay, anyway. Hi, I'm Cierra.
And I'm Laurel.
And we're doing our second video for Global Realities. And we're going to be talking from Chapter 7 in the old book, the chapter called Energy Poverty. And we're going to start on page 162
at the bottom.
And she's going to read a section of it.
Okay, so the people at the bottom of the pyramid will only truly be connected when the world is both flat and green. When they have universal connectivity powered by abundant, clean, reliable, and cheap electrons. Why flat and green? Because it is critical that the developing world leapfrog the developed world in energy the same way it did with telephony. Many developing countries went from no phones to cell phones and never stopped for landlines and telephone poles. We have to hope that many of the 1.6 billion without electricity will go from no electric grid to clean distributed energy, like solar or wind, without stopping for centrally generated coal-fired power.
Okay, so basically what that's saying is that like a quarter of the world, which is like 1.6 billion people, don't have any electricity. And if only 3/4 of the world is using electricity and that's causing that big of an effect on the climate, just you can only imagine what it would be like if the other 1/4 was added onto that. So we have to hope and we have to encourage the developing countries to kind of like skip over coal power and go straight to green. So we have to tell them to use wind and solar power as their main means of electricity to have any hope of like surviving.
And that will not benefit us when they have that coal power energy, because that can affect us.
Yeah, so if they go to coal power, that would be the entire world, which is like something like 9 billion or something like that. 9 billion people. That would literally crumble our economy, our environment, and like we can't have that. So we have to really encourage them to like literally skip over coal power and go straight to being green, which is a lot to ask of a developing country. But if we can be the first one to kind of like start the going green and get the solar powered and like the wind powered, we can help the other developing countries skip and go to green. The second part we're going to talk about is in the same chapter, but it's in the section called Energy Poverty in the Flat World. The Flat World.
Oh, the Flat World, okay.
I have to get there, hold on. Okay, and the quote says,
Jeff Wacker, the futurists at Electronic Data Systems, like to say that innovators are those people who know the 99% that everybody knows and therefore are able to create the 1% that nobody knows.
And basically what they're saying is that like to be an innovator, you have to everyone knows common knowledge. So you have to know all of the common knowledge, and then to be able to develop and get that 1% that no one knows. So as a country, as a world, only 3/4 of the world actually has electricity on. So only 3/4 of the world is available to learn the 99% that everyone knows. So. And which is not helping us develop the 1% that no one knows. So we really need the developing countries to be able to know the 99% and be able to learn the 99%, so we can help us as a world to learn the 1% that no one knows. So we don't know what developing countries like India have to offer because they're not being given their full potential because they don't have electricity.
Yeah. Okay. And then the last thing is the one natural resource that the world has left in infinite quantity is human ingenuity.
So basically that is saying is that we have over-exhausted the environment. We have done all these bad things to the world. The one thing we have still in full demand, full availability is human knowledge. And the more we help developing countries gain access to that knowledge, the better it's going to be. So if we have the entire world, entire 4/4, the entire world working together with the 99% that we all know, we can really gain that 1% that no one knows yet.
And we're not able to do that because of the 1.6 billion, is that right?
Yeah.
1.6 billion that does not have that
electricity,
that energy source. And if they use the coal powers, that can mess, the electric grid up.
Yeah. So if we could just teach, if we could just get electricity to the 1.6 billion of people out there, that would do wonders for the world. So we have no clue what those 1.6 billion people have to offer. Those can be the future Albert Einsteins, and but we can't use their power and their knowledge because they don't have it yet. If that makes sense, they need our electricity and the green power electricity in order to gain that knowledge to help us in the future.
And that 1% doesn't know that our 99% is working towards that. So they don't know that number, that 99%, that the other 9 billion are trying to work out for 1.6 billion. And is that it?
Yeah.
Okay,
So that's our video.